Marie Greene from Olive Knits here, and today I'm going to show you how to work the cable cast on. I love this cast on. I use it all the time. It's the one I love the most for top-down seamless sweaters because it has a lot of structure, but I also use it for almost everything I knit because it's just my favorite one to use. So let me show you how to do it. So we'll start with a slip knot, and we'll do that for most cast ons, so you might already be familiar with that process. We're going to leave a little tail because we'll weave that in later. Now take both of your needles and slide them through and then pull it tight. Now there are a couple steps to getting started, and then once we're started, we're really in the groove, and I think you'll find this is super simple. So take your working yarn and wrap it around the right needle and down through the center. I like to keep tension with my left hand. Do this however it's comfortable for you. And I kind of hold that little tail out of the way and keep that knot on the left side as I go. So the very first is sort of the setup. We're going to take the right needle and dip that stitch down into our first original stitch, draw it out, and then bring it up around behind and over the left needle. Then we're going to pull it tight. So now we have the original stitch and we have the new stitch. So now we have the setup finished, and now we're going to switch to cable cast on mode, and let me show you how to do that. We're actually going to take the right needle and we're going to work it between the two stitches we have. And I want to show you my trick, because one thing that people run into is they find it hard to get this needle in between the stitches. So follow along as I do this and try this yourself, because it's the simplest way. I'm going to leave that kind of loose tension because I just pulled this out. I'm not going to pull it tight yet so that I can insert my needle in between, but now it's like I'm knitting sort of into the space between stitches to get that cable twist that we're going to enjoy with this cast on, and that's what gives it that extra structure. So we cast on the two stitches, and now we've inserted our needle down between them just like that. Here's the knot from the left side. We're keeping it over there. That's from where I started that original slip knot. All right, so we're going to pass the yarn over, wrap it around, bring it through, draw it out, and place it around, behind, and over the top. Now before I tighten it, I take the tip of my right needle and I insert it between those stitches and tighten right around the needle. The thing this does for you, not only does it make it easier to get that needle in there, but it also creates a really consistent amount of space so that you get the perfect tension for your cast on edge. And we just repeat this process over and over until we have the number of stitches we want. So wrap it around, bring it through between the stitches, draw it out, over from behind and down the top. And then remember, don't tighten all the way. Take the tip of your right needle, insert it between the top two stitches, then pull it tight. And we'll just keep on going. Bring it around, down and over, insert the needle, then tighten. And you kind of do this with your needles held perpendicular. Now this looks a little bit slow, but actually as you get comfortable and you get that muscle memory, it gets pretty fast. Always waiting until I insert that before I tighten it. And now let me do one more over the top from behind and pull tight. Now you can see, I always usually go back and tighten up that first one. All right, so here's our stitches. Here's this edge and here's the external edge. Doesn't look like much yet, but the more you get on there and then you start to work your first row, you'll really see this nice little braided edge, which is really, has this nice little twist to it. It's quite nice. Now, when you're working this, the cool thing about the cable cast on is you're ready to start on the right side immediately. You don't have to work a wrong side row first. So if this were the number of stitches I wanted to cast on, I would be able to start knitting right away, or whatever the pattern is for the right side, because this cast on starts you on the right side. And sometimes I get emails from people who are working a pattern that I've called for and they didn't use a cable cast on, and they're like, where's the first row? Well, when you use the cable cast on, the first row is the right side row, which is really kind of cool. Let's get that tail out of the way there. All right, now I'll kind of pull that out. See that nice little twist edge. That's what I love so much about the cable cast on. Here's how it looks on the wrong side. All right, there's the cable cast on for you. Give it a go. See what you think.